I don't know about you, but I'm feeling fired up. I am feeling ready to go. I am feeling hopeful.
What's up, everyone? This is Lincoln Lieber, and I'm ready to do an NFL 14 week recap from all the games that were Sunday. I'm going to add in some college football news that I have. Before I get started, my YouTube channel name is Lincoln Lieber 1983. My channel has 411 subscribers with 1,008 videos and 264,041 views. The channel is 89 subscribers away from 500, so please continue to subscribe. All right, so here we go. This is my Week 14 recap from all the games that were Sunday. Starting Thursday. This past Thursday, December 4th, the Dallas Cowboys lost to the Detroit Lions. This Cowboys loss drops them to 6-1, and this Lions win moves them to 8-5. Dak Prescott was 31 for 47 for 376 yards. He had one touchdown and two interceptions. Jared Goff went 25 for 34 with 309 yards and one touchdown. Javonte Williams had 17 carries for 67 yards and one touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs had 12 carries for 43 yards, and David Montgomery had 6 carries for 60 yards, and Jahmyr Gibbs had 3 touchdowns. Now going to Sunday's games. The Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Baltimore Ravens 27-22 at M&T Bank Stadium. This Steelers win puts them at 7-6, and this Ravens loss drops them to 6-7. Aaron Rodgers had 23 for 34 for 284 yards and one touchdown. Kenneth Gainwell had 4 carries for 15 yards and one touchdown. DK Metcalf had 7 receptions for 148 yards. Lamar Jackson went 19 for 35 with 219 yards, and he had one touchdown and one interception. Derrick Henry had 25 carries for 94 yards. Zay Flowers had 8 receptions for 124 yards, and Isaiah Likely had 4 receptions for 25 yards. The Buffalo Bills beat the Cincinnati Bengals 39-34. This Bills win puts them at 9-4, and this Bengals loss drops them to 4-9. Joe Burrow went 25 for 36 for 284 yards, and he had 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Josh Allen went 25 for 36 for 284 yards, and he had 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Yeah, Josh Allen went 20. Oh, correction. Josh Allen went 22 for 28 for 251 yards, and he had 3 touchdowns. James Cook III had 18 carries for 80 yards, and Dawson Knox had 6 receptions for 93 yards. Okay. The Tennessee Titans beat the Cleveland Browns 31-29. This Titans win puts them at 2-11, and this Browns loss drops them at 3-10. Cam Ward went 14 for 28 for 117 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. Shedeur Sanders went 23 for 42 for 364 yards. He had 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. This game could have been won by Shedeur, but Coach Stefanski had a different play in mind. The Minnesota Vikings beat the Washington Commanders 31-0. This Vikings win puts them at 5-8, and this Commanders loss drops them to 3-10. Jaden Daniels went 9 for 20 for 78 yards, and he had one interception. Marcus Mariota went 2 for 4 for 30 yards, and he had 1 interception. On the other side of the ball, J.J. McCarthy had 16 for 23 for 163 yards, and he had 3 touchdowns. The Miami Dolphins beat the New York Jets 34-10. This Dolphins win puts them at 6-7, and this Jets loss drops them to 3-10. Tua Tagovailoa went 13 for 21 for 127 yards, and he had 1 touchdown. Brady Cook went 14 for 30 for 163 yards and 2 interceptions. The New Orleans Saints beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 24-20. This Saints win puts them at 3-10. This Buccaneers loss drops them to 7-6. Tyler Slow went 13 for 20 for 144 yards. Baker Mayfield went 14 for 30 for 122 yards, and he had 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Indianapolis Colts 36-19. This Jaguars win puts them at 9-4, and this Colts loss drops them to 8-5. Trevor Lawrence went 17 for 30 for 244 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns. Travis Etienne Jr. had 20 carries for 74 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns. Riley Leonard went 18 for 29 for 145 yards, and he had 1 interception. Daniel Jones went 5 for 7 with 60 yards, and he had 1 interception. The Denver Broncos beat the Las Vegas Raiders 24-17. This Broncos win puts them at 11-2, and this Raiders loss drops them to 2-11. Bo Nix went 31 for 38 for 212 yards, and Geno Smith went 13 for 21 for 116 yards, and he had one touchdown. And Kenny Pickett had 8 for 11 for 97 yards, and he had one touchdown. The Houston Texans beat the Kansas City Chiefs 20 to 10. This Texans win puts them at 8-5, and this Chiefs loss drops them to 6-7. C.J. Stroud went 15 for 31 for 203 yards and one touchdown. Woody Marks had 26 carries for 68 yards. Patrick Mahomes went 14 for 33 for 160 yards, and he had 3 interceptions. Kareem Hunt had 12 carries for 30 yards and one touchdown. The Green Bay Packers beat the Chicago Bears 20-21. This Packers win puts them at 9-3-1. And this Bears loss drops them to 9-4. Caleb Williams went 19 for 35 for 186 yards. He had 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. DeAndre Swift had 13 carries for 63 yards. And on the other side of the ball, Jordan Love went 17 for 25 for 234 yards with 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. Josh Jacobs added 20 carries for 86 yards and 1 touchdown. The Los Angeles Rams beat the Arizona Cardinals 45-17. This Rams win puts them at 10-3, and this Cardinals loss drops them to 3-10. Matthew Stafford went 22 for 31 for 281 yards and 3 touchdowns, and Blake Corum had 12 carries for 128 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jacoby Brissett went 25 for 44 for 271 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. And here's a Monday Night Football preview from the game that's tonight. Philadelphia Eagles are playing at the Los Angeles Chargers at SoFi Stadium. The Eagles are 8-4, and the Chargers are 8-4. The Eagles are first place in the NFC East, and the Chargers are in second place in the AFC West. All right, I have 2 pieces of football news. Now I'm getting to my college football. Now it. In Indianapolis coaching news, Daniel Jones, the quarterback who helped engineer an offense that was on a record trajectory through 8 weeks, suffered a season-ending Achilles tear in the first quarter of Sunday's 39-16 loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Sources confirmed to ESPN he's set to undergo surgery, so he'll have surgery soon. In Cleveland Browns news, Browns coach Kevin Stefanski declined to explain what went wrong, but accepted blame for a failed 2-point conversion attempt in his team's 31-29 loss to the Tennessee Titans on Sunday. That saw rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders watching from the sideline on the decisive play. Okay, all right. College football scoreboard. And there were 2 games Friday. The Tulane Green Wave beat the North Texas Eagles 34-21, and the Troy Trojans lost to James Madison Dukes 31-24. All right, now this is my last. It was 4 games Sunday. Okay.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling fired up. I am feeling ready to go. I am feeling hopeful.